Have you ever stood in your own home and felt like a complete stranger? That's what hit me as I stared at the open shoebox half hidden beneath a pile of winter sweaters in the back of my wife Sarah's closet. The air in our Lincoln Park brownstone, usually filled with the scent of her expensive perfumes and the faint hum of Chicago traffic, suddenly felt cold and foreign. Inside the box wasn't a forgotten pair of heels. It was a stack of letters, tied with a simple red ribbon. The handwriting was hers, elegant and familiar, but the name on the envelopes wasn't mine. It was Michael. And as I pulled one out, the first line I read made the floor drop out from under me. "My dearest Michael," it began, "every moment away from you is a moment wasted." Who the hell was Michael? If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from.
Ow.
And what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The first few weeks were a living nightmare. I was a ghost in my own marriage. Sarah and I had been together for 10 years, married for 7. We were the couple everyone envied. The successful lawyer and the vibrant art gallery manager. 8. We had the perfect life, or so I thought. After I found the letters, everything changed. I started noticing things. The late nights she claimed were for inventory at the gallery, the way her phone was always face down on the nightstand. The sudden flurry of texts that would make her smile a secret private smile that was no longer meant for me. She grew colder, more distant. When I'd try to talk to her, to bridge the growing chasm between us, she'd turn it around on me. "You're being so needy lately, John," she'd say, her voice dripping with annoyance. "Can't you see I'm stressed with work?" She was a master manipulator, making me feel like I was the one with the problem. I was paranoid. I was insecure. I was losing my mind. One evening I tried to hug her as she came through the door. She flinched, physically recoiling from my touch. "I just had a long day," she snapped, pushing past me. The rejection was like a physical blow. That was the night something inside me shattered. The love, the hope, it all drained away, replaced by a cold, quiet rage. I went back to the shoebox. I read every single letter. They were filled with passion, with promises, with details of their secret meetings. Dates at cozy little bars in Wicker Park, afternoons spent in a hotel room overlooking the Chicago River. They mocked me in those letters. Michael, this faceless man, wrote back to her. His letters were smug, arrogant. He called me the boring husband, the ball and chain. Sarah agreed. She wrote about how suffocating our life was, how she yearned for the real connection she had with him. They felt untouchable, laughing at my expense in the shadows of my own life. That night I sat on the floor of her closet, the letters spread around me, and I wept, not for the loss of her love, but for my own stupidity. For the years I'd dedicated to a woman who saw me as an obstacle, the breakdown was ugly, guttural. But when the tears stopped, something new took their place. A steely resolve. The time for sorrow was over. It was time for a strategy. She thought I was a boring, predictable husband? Fine. I would be anything but. My legal mind, the one that had won countless cases, kicked into high gear. Revenge wasn't going to be a screaming match in the living room. It was going to be a carefully constructed legal and social demolition. I started gathering evidence. I hired a private investigator, a discreet professional I'd used for corporate cases. Within a week, he gave me everything. Photos of Sarah and Michael kissing passionately outside a restaurant on Randolph Street. Hotel receipts. Even a name and address. Michael was a married man himself, a real estate developer with a pristine public image and a wealthy, well-connected wife. The game just got a lot more interesting. While my pie worked, I played the part of the oblivious, slightly pathetic husband. I'd ask Sarah about her day, feigning interest. I'd even suggest we go to counseling to fix our issues. She'd smile that condescending smile of hers and agree, knowing she had no intention of ever trying. "Whatever you think is best, honey," she'd say, patting my arm. The condescension was fuel to my fire. I opened a new bank account and began systematically moving marital assets, documenting every transaction with meticulous care. Just as our prenuptial agreement allowed under specific clauses she'd never bothered to read, the trap was set. The day I chose for the detonation was our 7th wedding anniversary. Sarah had, of course, forgotten. She'd told me she had a mandatory gallery event that night. My pie confirmed her event was a 2-night stay with Michael at a luxury hotel downtown. Perfect. That morning, filed for divorce, citing adultery and attaching a mountain of evidence. Photos, copies of the love letters, hotel bills, and detailed financial statements. My lawyer, a shark named David, was practically salivating. But that was just the legal side. The social destruction had to be a masterpiece. I put together a small, elegant package. Inside, I placed copies of the most damning love letters, the ones where Sarah and Michael mocked their respective spouses, along with a few choice photos of them together. Sent one package to Michael's wife. I sent another to the board of directors at the art gallery where Sarah worked, a gallery that prided itself on its family values and community standing. And for the final touch, I sent a third package to Michael's business partners. That evening, I sat alone in our dark, quiet brownstone. My phone started ringing around 7 o'clock. It was Sarah. She was screaming, hysterical. "What did you do? What did you do? My life is over." I let her scream. I heard another voice in the background, a man's voice, yelling. Michael, I presumed. His perfect world was crumbling too. I listened for a moment to the symphony of their chaos, the sound of two selfish people getting exactly what they deserved. Then, without a word, I hung up. The fallout was swift and brutal. Sarah was fired from the gallery the next day. The board called her actions a severe breach of the company's ethical code. Michael's wife filed for divorce, and his business partners, spooked by the scandal, initiated a buyout clause in their contract, pushing him out of the company he'd built. They were both socially and financially ruined. Our divorce was finalized in record time. She got nothing. The prenup held, and the evidence of her infidelity was so overwhelming she didn't even try to fight it. The last time I saw her was across the courtroom. She looked hollowed out, a ghost of the vibrant woman I once loved. The arrogance was gone, replaced by a desperate, hollow look. She tried to catch my eye, maybe looking for a flicker of pity, of the old John she thought she knew so well. She found none. Tonight, the brownstone is quiet. The boxes of her things are gone. All that's left is that one shoebox of letters, which I keep in my study. Sometimes when the city is asleep, I take them out and read them. Not to feel the pain, but to remind myself that sometimes the most loving thing a man can do is to become a stranger. The end.